Well, we are here today at Cannes Lions to really talk about everything from creativity to fandom to interaction and technology and how it's all kind of merging together when it comes to building brand experiences. So I'm so thankful to be joined by Shauna Alexander and Joe Killian. And I'd love you guys to introduce yourselves quickly.
Oh, ma'am.
You go first.
Hi, I'm Shauna Alexander, a New Yorker. You'll figure that out real quick. That energy comes through. But my fancy title is SVP of Strategy of Business Development. I focus mostly on facilitating brand partnerships for artists and musicians. Pretty fun job.
And I'm Joe Killian, the founder and CEO of Killian and Company. And our work is primarily with brands and how they intersect with the entertainment, specifically the media world, which is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger each year.
Yeah, I think that's exactly why we're all here, right? Because it does become bigger and bigger and the formats change, and every opportunity now, there's so much for brands to play with, especially when it's experiences from screens to in real life to fan engagement, community platforms. And both of you have quite a legacy of building these great experiences and really understanding fandom. So, Joe, I'd love you to start, and my question for you is, you've been in this industry for quite some time, and you've done a tremendous amount of work when it comes to building marquee platforms like SummerStage. What makes a fan moment unforgettable now versus what it used to be like?
That's a very good question. I would say many of the factors are similar to making that moment. But of course, now we have devices that we record everything, and we didn't. And as I'm seeing, I started a program in New York called SummerStage 40 years ago. And obviously for the first 2.5 decades, there was very little documentation by fans. And then you would talk to people who would say to me, oh, I loved such and such a show at SummerStage. And I knew that show had never taken place at SummerStage. So it was in the fans' memory. And of course, who am I to dissuade them from having a great memory? But now everything is recorded, obviously, and the production value, if you go to any arena show, or, most recently, I've done deals with Dua Lipa, Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo. If you go to Harry Styles, you go to any of those shows, the production level is often equal to the artist's performance level. Benefits of that for the fan, you get a real big show. And in many cases, a more participatory show, depending on the technology that the artist is using. But I would say for the super fan, that real core, call it 15 to 18%, they're much more engaged in artist extensions. It wasn't that long ago we said, just put the t-shirts out on a table. And of course, that is no longer the case. I know for clients of mine, we've done pop-up shops, multiple markets around the world. A couple of years ago with Blackpink, which is a K-pop band, we had lines and lines of young kids wanting to come into the pop-up shop. Many of them who could not afford a ticket to the show, but they wanted to be part of the fan community. And we had everything from a $3,500 Blackpink electric bicycle to a $2 Blackpink trading card. And then there were all kinds of Instagrammable moments and things like that. But that fan community is much, much different. I'd also say one of the most unique experiences I had was, this would be 5 years ago on Harry Styles' previous tour. He was at the UBS Arena, which was a new arena. He was opening the arena. It's outside of New York. And the venue itself, fantastic, but parking was a little distant, so they had shuttle buses. It started to rain, and here were all of these fans in boas and all kinds of glitter and stripes and things that they had dressed up for the night. Now the fans, it was amazing. They took care of each other. Some had umbrellas, some didn't. Here, why don't you get under my umbrella? Well, we don't want to get your boa wet. That kind of thing. Now, that type of community, very unique to a current generation of artists. And it's not, that super fan is a big buyer, but that fan I'm talking about, that the 18,000 sold out in that arena. It's a different sense of community now. And obviously there's greater online chat, there's greater communication between fans. And I think artists realize that they have not only responsibility, but they want a direct connection with those fans. Not only the super fans, but the casual fan. And they build that community intently.
I think experiences, the way that you're discussing, right, that have evolved, can really lead to creating a memory. That memory, to your point, of like how people recognize SummerStage and think I've been there and been part of it, that memory now feels very necessary with anyone who's doing a big tour or anyone who's doing that kind of promotion, where it really feels like you have to authentically build not just the performance, but the surrounding community elements to it that really bring it to life. So that community piece is also a cultural piece. And I think when we talk community, we also talk changes of behavior, we talk culture, we think about, the idea of being relevant in culture has been something I think every marketer has learned from like when they were in grad school. But you guys have done quite an exceptional job of really kind of bringing that to life. And I want to talk about the Levi's.
Oh, yeah. It's my favorite, yeah.
Because that just is,
I've broken a glass already. I apologize.
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. The phone fell, the glass broke. There's a lawsuit
This is how you know it's live.
There's injuries.
Yeah,
This is how we build community.
Memory. It's a memory of experience. There you go.
Oh, we're set, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so when we talk about culture and community, I think we always talk about relevance. And we've been trained as marketers from the beginning that tying into culture is really impactful in the way that you really make it. But that is a lot harder to do than people really have. And you guys are superb at this. And we have to talk about the Levi's Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
And activations. And, I want to ask, when a brand earns a real place in culture, and please walk us through Levi's and like kind of the impact.
Of course.
What does that do when you get it right?
I mean, it honestly gives you like unrestricted loyalty, right? Like when a brand shows up correctly in culture, and by that we mean respecting the community it's showing up in, doing something that helps that community, also something that like honors that community. And it doesn't always have to be like, in a charitable way. It can just be like, hey, these are some kids who are doing something really dope. Let's give them some resources. Let's build, like, Levi's has been doing this for decades. People forget that they built skate parks all over the world, just so that way, like, lower communities in, Mexico, etc. I think even Peru, like, they were building community gathering places. And so they have been doing this for decades. So, like, when you see a Doechii Levi's spot, you're like, oh, that's cool. They just put, like, a cool new artist in the spot. And it's like, this is a brand that has understood that, like, denim isn't every person's fabric. So they need to be showing up everywhere for every person. That's why that commercial works so well, because you can also see it's not just Doechii's rear end that's like shaken with a little red tab. Like, it's also like George Michael. It's also Woody from Toy Story. Like, Levi's has been a brand that has been showing up authentically in culture since pretty much it was started in San Francisco, right? And so what we did was, at the time I was working for an artist who is also a Levi's ambassador, Shabuzi, had probably one of the greatest runs, of all time in 2025. And so because I got to be really close with the Levi's team, and the record label I was working for at the time was based in San Francisco. Levi's is born and bred in San Francisco. Levi's wanted to show up for the local community because the Super Bowl is a huge moment, but oftentimes Olympics, etc., big moments like that, they forget about the locals and only focus on the people flying in. And so we came up with the concept called home turf, which a lot of people don't realize the word turf is actually Bay Area slang. And so it was really rooted in like, we're defending our home turf. Because here are two Bay Area legends who have made culture happen, who have been a part of it, who have brought music forward, who have, done great work in the nonprofit and community space, saying, this is our home turf, let us show you how we do it. And as part of that, the whole programming, including up until the commercial, was focused on highlighting and featuring Bay Area artists, the past, the present, and then the future. So we had, your E40s and your Too Shorts, who were like Bay Area hip hop legends. We had your Kalanis, who had just won a bunch of Grammys. And we also even had La Russell, who was sort of on the come up. He also did a Meta commercial that year, this year, so we made sure to highlight. We even had a local high school marching band come and perform, and just made sure it wasn't just like big names on the stage. It was truly community focused, and it was free, open to everybody. You could come get your like Shabuzi patch, put on your jacket for free. You could buy some sneakers if you wanted to, but it was all about just like giving the local area a place to hang during one of the biggest moments in like sporting and marketing history.
I love that. And by the way, I've been a big Levi's fan.
They're the best.
They've like been on my
Lion right
list
now,
for
so
every old client forever.
Yeah,
I was
they're
always
the
like,
best.
we have to partner with these.
Yeah, they're the best. They're the best.
They are, and like, listen, they do a great. Their brand identity is amazing. I think the way that they contribute, I think they invite people in versus doing it through events like this, which makes such a huge difference.
Totally.
We also happen to be a Shabuzi vote.
Yeah,
Shabuzi is like our anthem at late night, so
Perfect.
we love that. But I
His
think
new record is gonna give you more anthems too.
can't wait. We'll have to go see
July
that.
31st. Yeah, there you go. There's the plug.
July 31st. You heard it here first. But I think it's such an interesting. Levi's is such a great example of how you merge everything together within the ecosystem. But I want to start talking more about the role of technology.
Yeah.
So, where has technology generally made the fan moment better, and what excites you most about what it's doing? And Joe, let's have you start.
Well, on technology, this is going to sound very old school because I know everybody wants to know how is AI going to influence the music business, and I have my own opinions on that, but I'm going to speak of old technology, and I will give the villain called Ticketmaster significant credit for developing technology where you can now transfer tickets to friends very easily. You can resell your tickets very easily, and most of all, you can be reimbursed if a show cancels very easily. Seems like basic technology, but it was only a few years ago that none of that really existed. The shareability of a ticket and the identification of other friends who are going. I think the ability to buy an aisle seat if you want an aisle seat. Yes, you may pay a premium for that, but you never had that ability before. It's again, simple technology, but it took a long time for Ticketmaster to unravel their system because they had been built on 5 or 6 different companies' technologies. They've done that. They now have a whole other set of things they're battling, like bots and brokers and all that. But for the fan, given the amount of tickets that are being sold now, they probably are doing the best job they can. That said, it can always get better, but I think that basic technology of being able to go in, look at the seat you want to buy, purchase that seat, resell that seat, share that seat, and then obviously you can build points with that. You have other brands involved in that. I think that's a basic form that really has performed well, particularly on a mobile device, which is where everybody lives, and you can move that ticket around as much as you want. And again, it's a basic technology, but still critical to the success of building a community, if you will.
I think it's interesting too when we talk about that it's technology for the benefit of the consumer or the fan, which I think sometimes we think about technology for the benefit of the business, right? And being able to offer those solutions like what you're talking about, it puts the power back into the fan versus, really having that.
Yeah, and it's also, I don't know how many folks have, tried to go see Taylor Swift or Oasis in other countries, and there's like a little bit of a running joke of like the tickets in America are worth the price of going to Europe to see Oasis. I did that twice. And so to buy a ticket in Edinburgh, right, Scotland, was the same price as buying a ticket in America, but I could go to Scotland for a week, and it's like without technology like that wouldn't have been possible because you have to be able to buy these things online, etc. I think the other piece of technology that we're maybe overlooking though is, and not to bring back the Super Bowl, but when I got to see Bad Bunny, which was very cool, every seat had a necklace that could glow, right? And was programmed to the show. Taylor Swift embraces this, all these big pop stars are embracing it, Dua Lipa, etc. It makes you feel like you're a part of the performance. And that's also an extension for the artist to be more creative as well and work with their teams to sort of make that a more community-focused experience of like, okay, well, mine's glowing blue. Why is mine blue? Why is yours pink? And like, it becomes like I wanted the pink one. And it just becomes a way to just get strangers to talk to each other while also making quite a dynamic visual experience too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen plenty of those videos, and it adds to the entire performance of what the set is, what the experience is like. So when we talk about building for those fans, so imagine if any image or poster or screen or anything, this is what we do, within that environment or leading up to the environment and the promos, if that was able to come alive and give something back, where do you see the biggest opportunity with technology like that being introduced to the fan experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a little bit of a joke, not to keep talking about Super Bowl, but, we all saw like the people dressed as trees, right? Like, why it would be amazing if while you were watching that and that revelation came to mind, that you can then buy your Halloween costume as like one of the Bad Bunny trees.
Genius.
Right? Like it would be
Genius.
It's like there genius. It's genius. And like with your technology, like you can do that, right? As long as the information is being shared by the production partners and all that. But even still, like Bad Bunny also wore his Zara collection, right? Which is essentially a brand that anybody can afford. He wasn't wearing Chanel. It wasn't, unapproachable. So what does it mean for that to go live while that performance is happening? Whether it's a special, Dua Lipa live at Royal Albert Hall moment or something, or Coachella or whatever, Glastonbury, it'd be amazing for fans to be able to just go, oh, I want to buy the wardrobe that the backup dancers are wearing, or maybe there's some merch that's only from this show that I can now buy because I had this screen that's sort of giving me more inside access. I think it's brilliant, quite frankly.
Thanks. Come to all of our pitches.
I think there's also, among the fan-artist relationship, there's also a desire for gamification. And this is with Taylor Swift about 10 years ago, 12 years ago when Blank Space came out. Myself, but with a group of technologists at Radical Media, we built an adjacent property to the video Blank Space. It was inside of an app. You would go into the app, you would go into the follow it 360 into the home that Blank Space was shot in, because we shot alongside of it. Joseph Kahn was the director. And if you watch the video, it's almost all exteriors, where all of ours are interiors. You follow Taylor and her beau into this mansion, and then there are clues. So there's an old-fashioned radio. You can go and tune it to her birth date. You can find a grandfather clock. It's got 13 numbers on it because that's Taylor's lucky number. You click on all of these and you could unlock a special video that she had made for her fans. So that gamification excites fans. They want to play along with their artist. They want to participate. They want to be shown something they didn't know about their artist, but in a game-like way. And obviously that was an original one that was very early. There are now very, very sophisticated versions of that.
Your platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that, participation is a huge factor. My question to both of you, just throwing this out there. When you think about planning for both an artist and a brand side, is participation now part of the initial side versus an add-on?
At least for me, right? It depends on what the brand really wants out of it. Most of the time, the participation comes with the artist, right? Because you are bringing a community forward when you partner an artist with a brand. Not all brands want there to be active participation, but those are also the ones that don't really do well in culture, right? Not to be shady, but it's true. And so if a brand wants to be successful in using music, they should be thinking about the fandom and how the fandom is going to react, but they should let the artist teams and folks like us build that strategy rather than them saying, I want these people to buy this thing. Because often when you have such a specific, metric you're trying to do, it's too on the nose. People want to still, we're humans. We're by design sort of like spontaneous and flawed, and nobody wants to be told, I need to buy this thing today. But if it's something like Joe was saying, where like you're clicking on the grandfather clock and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you just saw this and now you get to buy the Taylor Swift watch because you went on an adventure and you participated. That is the smoother, softer way to do it than just like buy now. Here's thing.
Though I think most brands understand the power of social media, certainly, particularly Instagram. So they'll try and build Instagrammable moments. Some of those moments can be very simple. On Harry Styles' last tour, we did an activation in the arenas. The tour was Harry's House, the album Harry's House, all that. And this is going to sound, again, simple, but maybe it's the simplest ideas. We literally set up a couch, a chair, their rug, there's a nice coffee table kind of thing. And hey, do you want to take your picture in Harry's house? We had lines and lines. It was a couch. It was a couch and a chair. That's all it was. But it was
a missed moment for West Dome.
It was authorized by the artist. It was approved by the artist, and that was Harry's house. In that instance, there was nothing from Harry's house being sold, though Harry did have an extensive line of merchandise products, and obviously he's got beauty products and a nail line and all of that. But you could have an extension of the pillows on the couch or whatever you wanted. But I think most brands want those Instagrammable moments to have fans share it, and hopefully that connection to the brand,
I agree. I think that you have this really interesting synergy where you bring something to life in a way that they've been watching and seeing an artist that they love and that makes them feel something, right? And then you're putting them into that location directly. There's something incredibly fun, but also memorable, experience driven about that. You've worked on both sides of this for a long time, so you've seen it on both sides. When does the magic happen? I feel like there are brands that want to play music that maybe shouldn't. And then there's brands and musicians when they combine it.
Yeah, it's magic.
It's magic.
It's Levi's, like we just said, right? Man, they're gonna be real happy with me today. But so I actually think any brand can participate in music, but you need to really understand what music means to the brand and the people who are embracing the brand, right? Like just because, I don't know, let's use like a really stuffy brand. All right, we won't call anyone out, but music is ubiquitous. Anybody, you don't need to know a language, you don't need to know you just listen, right? And so it is oftentimes the best and first step for a brand to get involved in culture, because it also is personal, right? Like hearing a song is personal. It can mean something. Even though the lyrics mean one thing to me, may mean something different to you and you and you, right? So I think any brand can play music, but what they really need to understand is like what the artist actually represents and how that artist connects with the people who are connected to the brand, right? So again, not to go back to Shabuzi, but he's a pretty good example. We did not connect him with every single brand under the sun, even though he had the #1 Billboard song in the history of the Billboard charts, right? We were very intentional. He is a premium person. He's not going to wear a Target collection. He's going to support a small brand in Los Angeles called Cherry. He's going to work with Levi's because He's been wearing Levi's since he was a kid. You know, he's gonna work with brands that really make sense to him and that he loves. He's also wants to be a filmmaker. So he also wants to work with brands that are gonna allow him to extend himself in that creative vision. So when we did, you know, the music video for Cowgirl with Sierra from Love Island, amazing. Not Summer House, excuse me. It was because A, he's a Summer House fan, but B, also we knew his audience was Summer House fans. And how do we connect this all into an ecosystem where now he has a new record coming and it's a sophomore record? So how do you make some noise while also respecting who is going to like actually absorb this information? And so, you know, we just kind of built some extensions that way with Jack Daniels, etc., and all this. And it's really about just like everybody, the way I explain what I do is like, I'm building Venn diagrams and whatever is being built has to be in the middle of those overlapping circles. If it's not in the middle of those circles, that's where it starts feeling inauthentic. It's Pepsi and Kendall Jenner. It's, you know, it's moments that don't resonate. Everybody has to sort of have some skin in the game and everybody has to feel a little bit like, this actually is me, the brand, the artist, the teams involved, the fans, etc. It has to be in the center of all that.
Makes sense. I mean, it really is this, you just map it out on paper. It's actually fairly easy to do, right?
But it's hard to actually execute. That's the thing.
Right.
You have to be really honest about it. You know, just because you're a brand doesn't mean you get to work with Doechii just because she's poppin', right? Like, you have to really make sure that your audience is like, appreciates Doechii, but that you as a brand have also done enough work to be connected to Doechii.
Thank you.
Though I think we're also going to see, we've seen the brand partnership business grow incredibly. And if you look at the most recent Live Nation earnings report, I think they have put sponsorships that they have at about 1.2 billion, which it used to be around 100 million and it has grown exponentially. I would think AEG is probably half that. So just between those two promoters, you've got almost $2 billion in brand partnerships. And that's before labels, management companies, agencies also do various deals. And I think what we're going to see are tiers of brand partnerships where you've got that mega one, could be a Levi's or another big brand, and they're going to hit a home run because they're going to have all these touch points. But I think it's also absolutely acceptable for other brands to hit a single and have a smaller activation with a smaller touch point and not own everything about the artist. Some of that is just the reality of the economics of it. The reality of what an artist will do and not do. But I think it's still valuable for the brand, from a brand awareness and a brand affinity point of view, that it doesn't have to be always that big honkin' activation, because to get that big honkin' activation, you also have to put significant media behind it, whether it's social media, TikTok, whatever it is, to drive it home. And not every brand has that kind of budget. But they can still do creative things. Again, they hit a single or a double, or even sometimes a home run on a small budget. And I think they should be, that should be perfectly acceptable. You know, it's no different than, to take the baseball analogy even further. Well, we know venues have naming rights. We know when you go to a game, there's a plethora of brands that are present. And all of them get a different value. And I think we're going to see more and more of that. Because the days when artists did not want to participate with brands, it's long gone, you know. It's really an important part of the artist's revenue stream now. And on the one hand, artists want premium luxury and they want to develop IP with the brand. But on the other hand, I think many artists are willing to do much smaller deals just to help them, you know, and help put their record out,
and
help their
reach new
tour out,
audiences
fund their
too.
tour, fund the production of their tour, those kinds of things.
Well, you have so many small brands now and entrepreneurs that are doing really cool things of creative, especially when it comes to content and bringing those ideas to life. I love Shaboozy, Whitney with Cherry. Like,
Oh, yeah.
That's great, right? Like, I think that those types of things it just gives you so many other options to play. Which is something we always look for, is like, how do we use our technology to allow brands to get into an access or have this creative path or interactive path where maybe they didn't have the budgets to do it before.
Makes sense.
And all artists at every level will look at startups that give them an equity piece. And I know of one mega artist who did a deal with a company called Ride. And Ride was conceived as a ride sharing plan, but it would be within a corporate environment. So if you had 5,000 employees in a corporate park, essentially they would have a ride share app where, you know, the receptionists would drive every day from a certain area and pick up 3 or 4 people along the way and go drop them home. But it would be on a daily basis. And this mega artist took a big position in the company, an equity position, in exchange for their services. It never played out. But artists are willing to take that chance. They're willing to take that risk on tech startups, new technology, and innovation, because artists want to be tech forward and they want to do innovative things.
Yeah, absolutely. I would argue that artists tend to be on the forefront of that innovation. They take more risks. They put themselves out there. They get creative. They're creatives at heart, right? And so that leads to the adoption of new technology and playing and experimenting. So last question for you. Thank you guys so much for today.
That's the last question?
Yeah.
Let me break another glass. Come on.
The brands and artists who create the most meaningful fan culture over the next decade will be the ones who do what well?
Man, getting real philosophical on a Monday.
There's so many ways you could go with this.
I'm ready.
All right,
Okay,
go.
One of the brands I work with is American Express, and I think Amex, over a long history, has built a very simple principle of you are a card member, not a card holder. You are a card member. You are part of a membership club, and you get benefits for that. You're part of our community. We value your loyalty. We give you great customer service. I think more and more artists are going to go toward a member, so to speak, relationship with their fans. It has been tried, but not tried with the type of technology that is now being developed. I think you could look at the Grateful Dead, you could look at Fish as members of a community where fans will pay to be part of that community. I can see that in the next 10 years because the artists want more control over that. And I can also see artists who develop their own artist-based social media sites rather than social media sites being owned by a third party and their data being owned by a third party. I think artists want more control of that data because they want to know who their fans are. So I think a member platform driven by technology is where it's going. And I'd say that's in the next 3 years, 5 years, not 10 years. Much will be driven by AI and what AI is doing to help fans understand their artists, but understand how their artist's music is made. Will there come a point where fans are collaborating? I can see that. I mean, recently, Pete Townsend from The Who said, look, about AI, he said, I've got 400 partially written songs. Of that, probably 50 are good. Of that, maybe in my lifetime, Pete is probably almost 80, he said, maybe I can finish 2 or 3, maybe. So he is actively putting all of his music into AI to generate a collaborator with him. Okay, I get that, but I think we're going to see more fan collaboration, fan created or recreated. Yes, we've got mixes already, but I think AI is going to take it to a whole other.
Yeah, well, Grimes is doing that right now, right? With her Elf Tech, where she's allowing anybody to use her voice, her sounds, as long as they give her 50%. and then it becomes this whole other sort of like, you know, beast of its own. But I think what I wanted to point out about what Joe said about member platforms that artists are going to build is I also think artists are going to build intentionally to connect their fans to each other, right? Because like as like technology becomes this much closer to your face, IRL is going to become equally important and more important probably. So how do you build community off the screen, off the app, off, you know, in real life, especially with AI, because that's how you can tell, like, I can touch you, I know you're real, right? And so I think artists are also going to really invest quite a bit in connecting the people in their local and like international communities of, okay, like, you know, building things like cruise line, you know, activations and things like that. That already exists, but I think it will be a little bit more like, how do you meet your friend who is in, you know, Bangkok, who's also a fan of K-pop Demon Hunters, and you're both going to go on this amazing excursion together of the K-pop Demon Hunters sort of, you know, cruise experience or whatever, you know, and maybe then also that's how they get into building another film or things like that. It just becomes all connected.
Yeah, I think you're seeing a lot of that already in content from streamers. Like Netflix does a really good job.
Absolutely. And the gamers do it really well.
Do it really well. So you would see the natural evolution. Any last things to add?
I only think music with brands in the next 5 years is a very, very exciting time because technology has only scratched the surface. You know, it's just, we're still in infancy, and it's a very exciting time because we see from the Sphere itself sells tickets because people want to see that technology. I mean, when a 70-year-old film called The Wizard of Oz can sell over 1 million tickets, 1 million tickets to a movie that's been out 70 years, and they're not selling it for $9.99. You know, it's a $75 plus ticket. It's an experience. It is a sound. It is sight. We're going to see more and more of that. We're going to see more and more of it customized. And I think, again, the Sphere technology is, again, in its infancy. So we're going to see more of that. We're going to see more of fans' engagement in that. And I think, are we going to see more films? Yeah, being remade? Like, sure, we will. But then we're also going to see films that are going to be made for that format. And that's when it's going to get really interesting.
And I think if we can like put a little bow on this, like this is about memories, right? At the end of the day, you're creating core memories that connect to a moment, a brand, a culture, a feeling, right? And that's all this is doing, is making memories and hopefully attaching a brand to it.
I love that. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
For this conversation.
Thank you. And again, I hope I didn't scare anyone by breaking a glass at the beginning of this. I always like that, though. You know, break something right at the top of the thing. You know?
Yeah.
Celebration.
Thank you so much.